Oh, let's go to the look at the Warrack Eagles report in the Wimmera Football League. And we're going to focus on the Warrack Eagles because last week it was their big occasion, the Premiership reunions, along with the formation of the club 21 years earlier. And Scotty Stewart is with me to recap a great night last Saturday night. Hey, Scotty, how are you?
Yeah, how you going, Wayne? Going well.
Good. It was a great night. There's a couple of highlights. Probably the life membership to one of your stalwarts was something that many didn't see coming, and he didn't see coming.
No, that's right. Yeah, that was a life membership presented on the night during the evening function, and went to a fellow called Paul Shorty Winsell, who played a lot of footy with the Warracknabeal Footy Club. Had retired before the Warrack Eagles come into it, so it was for the Warracknabeal Football Club, and long time player, committee man, volunteer. Just recognised over a long period of time. Dating back to the 80s after his playing career, it was a shock though. We only a few people knew about that one. Obviously, his committee and people knew about that one, we're in the middle of celebrations. It's in the night, and they pulled that one up. But well deserved, and he was shocked. Shorty, he taken back a bit by it all, but well deserved, and it was a great presentation.
Really good one, and I'll tell you what, another one. It was a footy jumper was given back on the night, and a bit of a special story.
That was really interesting story. This one, it was actually during the pre-game function when the reunion guys all met inside before the senior match, and a bit of a background story to it. A couple of fellas, Des Trotter, his name is. He well known around the area around here, around the Wimmera cycle circles, and played for Warracknabeal and played in the Premiership in 1977, kicked over 100 goals. And anyway, if you go back 7 years, he actually played for Horsham. And while Horsham played Warracknabeal that day in 1970, and Des was playing full forward, and his opponent that day was a fellow called Barry Fishbones Fry, who's a bit of a legend around the Warracknabeal area, and people in the Wimmera circles know Fishbones. And anyway, back in the days, they used to do back then, they swapped jumpers, so that was good. And so Des has got hold of Fishbones' jumper because he wanted that. And so on the day last Saturday, both those fellas were in attendance, and Des presented Fishbones with his 1970 Warracknabeal jumper, which Des had for 52 years. So it was a real trip down memory lane, that one. And Fishbones, he got a hell of a surprise out of it, and Des himself, he presented his jumper. I think it was his 1977 jumper to the club. So both those jumpers now will be in the archives of the Warrack Eagles, and commemorating the Warracknabeal and the Horsham grand final in 1970. So that was a good story, and it was a good presentation.
Oh, fantastic stuff! Just the sort of thing that really makes that one of those get-togethers just that more special. And tell you what, it was special on the field. Unfortunately, Dimboola beat you 16 goals, 1,612 to 11, 571. It wasn't for the want of trying though, and you led the game at half time. So a good effort put in by the Eagles against a really good Dimboola side, who I think are finals bound, and I think could even still even trouble the top three the way they're playing.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. And after watching that game last weekend, they were pretty handy. They had an extra addition to their playing list last weekend. A fellow called Dylan Tarkson, who played for them last year, he got injured, but he returned and played his first game for the Roos last weekend. So further strengthening. But good game of footy up until probably halfway through the third quarter. You'd say the bit of a breeze going to one end, and Dimboola kicked with it for a start, and made the most of it, led by 3 points, 20 points at quarter time. But then the Eagles come back in the second quarter, and they kicked 6 goals to 2 there, and actually took what those in see the results, a 3-point lead into half time, and really looking good. Ryan McKenzie was on fire. He kicked 3 goals in about 3 minutes there in the second quarter and got the Eagles back in front. But it was one of those ones where you think if the home team could hold on to the visitors who were going with the wind in that third quarter, and probably half of that third quarter they did, but Dimmy kicked, especially I think it was about the last couple of minutes, they kicked a couple of goals and opened up that 4 or 5 goal lead at three-quarter time, and it was just too much for the Eagles boys in the last quarter. They kept trying, but Dimmy, they ran out the game pretty well. And as you say there, they're now this week, well, they were in the top 5. They'll lose their spot this weekend when the Giants and Horsham Saints play each other. But yeah, as you say, they're in the top 5 and they are going to threaten big time.
They certainly are. Rosier was very good for them. Lant, the coach, played well. Ryan McKenzie booted those 3 quickly in the second, and Kyle Cheney and Matty Johns got a couple each, and Dylan Watts and Bailey Watts. Those Watts and Corey Watts. All the Wattses were turning on the lights, so to speak.
Too right, yeah. That was funny during the presentation. Yeah, it was like all the Wattses were up and about that day. So they did play well. Young Dylan played his best game for the season, and Bailey and Corey, they were a pretty good team.
You won the seconds 9-13 to 5-4, and gee, Scotty, this is a good result for the boys in the Warrack Eagles jersey, because it means that still in touch. I mean, not done this season for your reserves, that's for sure.
No, it actually puts them level with 5th place at the moment. So. And that's the way it'll stay, because the 5th place team is Ararat. I mean, at the bye this weekend, so they won't add to it. But they have an equal 5th, and they did. They had a really good game. They're a bit like all teams at the moment. All the scenes and through the seconds, there's injury worries and there's COVID worries and stuff. But they put a good team together last week, and they pretty well controlled it from the outset there. A good second quarter where they got the break and they maintained it right through. So there was a good effort, and pushing on knocking on the door for finals. I think.
They are. Dalton Yen, she booted 4, wound back the clock beautifully there. Didn't get picked in the best players though, but 4 out of 9. I reckon is good enough for best players. Scotty, what do you think?
Yeah, he did well, Dalton. He's coming back from injury at the moment, and 4 goals is a pretty handy effort. It's one of those things in second footy. You've got a good marking forward up in front of the sticks that can finish off your play. You're going to go all right, and that's what Dalton did last week for sure.
You certainly did. Dimmy won the 17s at 9-16 to 1-4. The goal kicked by George Morgan, and Baden Penny was pretty good. Young Dane George also got going, and Nick Heusler and Toby Drage amongst it.
Yeah, the kids had a bit of a battle against Dimmy, who a bit stronger than in the top 5 side. So they had a bit of a battle against them, but they keep working hard each week, and I think they enjoy their footy, and they put on a good spectacle for the crowd that was building up throughout the day.
Tell you what, the game that was a beauty was the 14s. They won it easily, and they beat Dimboola comfortably. They put them in a clear 4th place with 18 premiership points to 0 on 12 and Stall on 10. So if the boys can just hang in there, win some games even against, say, the clubs below them, then the Warrack Eagles look like they're finals bound in the 14s.
I think so, Wayne. Yeah, that was an important win last week. And you look at the ladder and you look at the results to come, they will sit on that 18 points, and you think they might be 2 games clear of the teams outside the top 5. But they kicked the dew off in the morning, and they had a pretty good win. They controlled that game throughout the day, and had a couple of additions to the team, and who were pretty good. So the 14s celebrated pretty well. A good win. Yeah,
they did. Young Nash Clayton and Cooper Preston. Preston 4, Clayton 3 were the 2 dominant players, along with young Tom Penny, who did the job. Let's go to senior football now, and this weekend's conclusion of the round. There are 3 matches to be played, and they're important ones. Stall play the D's. This is crucial in terms of both sides' chances of the double chance. Who wins?
There's a couple of good ones in this round, isn't it? And this is definitely one of them. Pushing match of the round status, this one. And look, Stall have been so impressive over the last few weeks. You go back to their last game, and it was a 1-point loss to Minamatoa, and they're going to get back on their home track this weekend, and I'd be tipping Stall myself. Should be a belter of a game, this one.
A ripper. Southern Valley Giants, I've called it early in the show. I'm going to ask Coleman about it when we get to him later, but I reckon that they're in danger of missing the finals now. Lose this weekend at Hopeton to the Saints, and that is going to be a massive, massive task for the Giants to get back.
Yeah, as we said before, the winner of this game goes into 5th spot for the time being, to the halfway point. of the season. And up at Hopeton, it'll be that's going to favour the home side. But there's some reports going around and some stories that the Giants the battling it at the minute just with player numbers, whether that's through injuries or whether it's through COVID related issues. They're going to have a real battle. And knowing 2 weeks ago when the Eagles played the Saints, they were pretty good. They got a bit of a sniff of victory, and they weren't going to let that slip. And to know that if they win this game, they're going to be in the top 5. That's going to be a huge incentive for them. But the Giants, look, they're going to click soon. There's no doubt about that. But they do have to get their personnel back, get back to what would resemble, pretty close to their full squad.
I reckon that they're playing with 16 aside in their senior grade and their reserve grade also. So that tells me that Saints, I reckon, are a chance to do exactly what you said, take 5th place. And Minamatoa should beat Nil, albeit it's at Davis Park, and the last time that they played at Davis Park, well, Nil had a win after 1,029 days. I bet they won't have to wait that long, but I don't think it's going to be a what they call a 14-day turnaround for Nil to go back-to-back.
You wouldn't think so, no, not on this one with the Boroughs coming off, or the both coming off the weekend off. But the Boroughs they'll be pretty keen to put this one away. And the Nil boys, look, they would have celebrated long and hard after that win a couple of weeks ago over the Giants, and it might just come crashing back this weekend when they take on the Boroughs.
Yes, it is a big weekend, and great to hear of some of the stories out there at the Warrack Eagles when they commemorated 21 years of Warrack and Brim coming together, and great stuff, swapping of jumpers and all sorts of exciting things happening amongst the netballers who did well to win their first game of A-grade netball, I reckon.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they have a netball court. They had a full complement of games, and the A-graders, they posted their first one for the season after falling a couple of points short in their 2 battles before that. They just missed out, but they're right throughout the day, the Bs, the Cs, and the kids. They had a good day at the netball court, and I think between the two of them, they split the honours pretty much down the line.
Good stuff. Great country sport, netball and footy, and good to have you on board from the Warrack Herald, Scotty Stewart.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Good on you.